Hidden Object Guru here with hot new game SturmFront, The Mutant War, which is a heavy metal-inspired shooter of some kind. I'm intrigued, even despite the unfortunate name. That's a three-breasted demon. This is very 90s metal, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like 90s European metal album cover.
Yep.
Okay. Alright. Designation Siegfried von Hammerstein. Yep. So I have to kill mutants. What's the deal? Wow. Yeah, this is so 90s. Your will is no consequence, your purpose has been ordained, you are a slave to your destiny. So now we're getting into real Warhammer 40,000 nonsense. So what kind of game? Oh, twin stick shooter. It's a twin stick shooter, everybody.
And it looks like it was made in the 90s.
It really does. Oh, that is not a... that is... Oh. The way the camera's moving, like, it's not smooth at all. It's very jarring. Well, we'll see. What the hell is going on over there? Ah, okay. I'm not in favor of what I just did.
Agreed, unabridged. It does
Into ship and attack. All right, let's do this. Yeah, this could not be more 90s. Every filthy alley and every stinking brothel must be purged. You seem like the worst.
Yeah, what's the problem with the brothel?
I got no problem with brothels. Alright, let's 90s. Ah! Alright, so let's just wreck everything. I assume this is a, what do you call it? Total carnage type of situation where I don't have any limits on my ammo, and I can just wreck whatever, right? Well, I'm already down to 1 hit point, so that's not good. Is there a way I can destroy these spawners, or are they just infinitely spawning? Because it would not be good if there's no way to destroy the spawners. Now, they got me.
Instead of going to Indigo, why don't you go to your local comic book shop to get your manga?
That's a good idea. Support local people instead of those monsters at Indigo. Okay. Is that a fire upgrade? I know they're... Ooh, rocket launcher, nice. But I only have 5 shots. Okay. Okay, I'm getting the basics of this game.
When do the liquor stores close? It depends where you are. Liquor stores place to place and province to province.
Some 9, some 6, some 8. Do we have one that gets open until 10?
We don't.
Alright, well you should go and get me some booze then. It was a joke. I thought it was a funny joke. She disagreed.
That was so funny.
Okay, so if you check this out, this is interesting. Nice. Plasma cannon. So, I can't, there is a way to destroy those spawners, because if I walk into them, I take a point of damage, but they do get destroyed. Now, that's obviously not what I'm supposed to do, but at least there is a way to destroy them.
That sucks that you don't have a local comic book shop, right?
Yeah. Although I hear Alberta's very bad for that. I know people from Alberta who did not like any of their... Fuel for flame? I have a flamethrower.
Do you remember the story?
I do remember that's what I was getting. That's how you destroy the spawners, everybody. Use the flamethrower on them. And that's why I have to keep picking up more fuel for the flamethrower, because it's an ultimate weapon, and it has almost no ammo. Okay, I get it now. I understand how we're supposed to play this game, basically. There's some health. Really some health. There's a lot of health, is the thing. Take that, you jerk. Oh, no, just that we know somebody from Alberta, and their comic book shop, their local comic book shop, was just the worst comic book shop, with the worst comic book snobs running it. Just real
There's a story.
ridiculous
What is
jerk
the
to
story?
pussies.
Nathan Fillion's mother.
Wanted a certain a cover of the Firefly comic, and he went to get it, and the guy was like, yeah, I don't care that you're Nathan Fillion. That thing costs double what the other things cost.
No, and also, like, they didn't know she was his mother.
Oh.
And they were super snotty to her or something
Yeah,
like
and
that.
then he went in himself.
Yeah, and then he went in himself.
Yeah. Boom.
Like they wouldn't sell it to her or some such nonsense.
Yeah, it was just something ridiculous. Okay, my gun is now ridiculous, which is nice. I am scourging these
Yeah, I know,
spawners.
Maddie. And BC is making their mask law is going too. I'm like, this seems a little early.
No!
Like, not
They
enough
got
people
me.
are vaccinated yet, and
Also, BC, your whole province is on fire.
Yeah.
I feel like masks are a really good idea when, you know, the air is made of soot.
well, that's good that your local comics stores staff are nice.
That is great to hear.
Uh,
Wait, I thought he said he didn't have a local comic book store. The Purifier, 1 of 4. They're everywhere in Mannheim. Horrors, beautiful, tempting, dangerous, hard kind of my chest. Wow. So, apparently, this is the story of a creepy incel who is afraid of sexuality, which, you know what? Yeah. I mean, 90s Norwegian metal? That sounds about right.
not really comfortable with this.
Well, no, I'm sure it's critical of it. They wouldn't be putting in such a nakedly, I'm uncomfortable with things as a negative thing about the character if they weren't making a comment on it. Unless they are the most oblivious people I've ever heard
All
of.
these other countries having more lockdowns and more cases now. And we're like, hey, let's get rid of those masks.
It's true, Jason Kenney doesn't sound fantastic. I mean, our premier's a real dirtbag. But Jason Kenney seems to be on another level entirely. I do like the sheer volume of explosions in this game. I'll say that. There's just way too many
The
explosions.
local comic store doesn't have the manga you want? That's so
Oh,
ridiculous.
can they order it, Maddie? Sometimes they can
Yeah.
order it.
There are some comic book stores that just don't carry a lot of manga. Which
Also
I've always
true.
found weird.
Well, but I mean, with manga, there's so damn much of it.
Oh,
It's
there
not
is.
like you can stock all the manga.
Do you remember how much the store I worked at carried?
Yep.
It carried a ton of manga.
And it was still just a drop in the bucket
We
compared
were
to the
willing
manga that comes out every month.
And we were always willing to order it. Too.
And now, the amount of manga that comes out every month in English, which isn't how it was back in the 90s, when we were comic book shopper people. Oh. Sorry, guys. But you had to learn your lesson about me murdering. Is that a lesson? No, I think that's a lesson. So much gasoline. Very
Woo,
funny,
David.
Maddie. Although we did kind of narrowly avoid having an American for a prime minister when what's his name tried to take become the liberal leader briefly. Got him blanking his name
Mulcair.
now. No, Mulcair's NDP. God, what was his name? You know, the guy who again moved to America and taught in American
I
schools.
thought that was Mulcair.
No, it was the guy in the Liberal Party. Moved to America
Yeah.
right out of college, worked there in schools for 20 years, and he's like, comes back and wants to be prime minister. I'm like, yeah, that's not going to work out. I sold my card, and see?
That's good, Marissa. We were talking about that the other day. But how skeezy comic book shops used to be and how far them come.
Yeah.
Although sadly,
Whoa!
the one I worked at closed. And the one that's closest to us, I hate.
It is the skeeziest of them all.
So skeezy.
Some might call it skeezy
I
tactical.
went in there before Christmas to try and find something to surprise my room with. And like, I got glared at the entire time.
I assume it was you were looking for something Fist of the North Star related?
No, I didn't even ask them any questions. I was just like looking at it, and then there was a point where I was looking at toys and stuff like that, but it was like, they just like glared at me and like were muttering to themselves, and I was like,
Oh.
I guess I'm gonna leave. They kept saying hello to regulars and ignoring me, and I was like,
Yeah, well, they don't know how to make it seem like a welcoming
I'm
environment.
not wearing a mask, but some of you employees used to shop from me.
Yep.
I know you don't know who I am, but like, regardless of the like, it was very like, oh, this person doesn't belong in this store.
Yeah, that's definitely the vibe they give off over there. They are gatekeepers. And
Yeah.
there's nothing less sympathetic than a gatekeeper.
And I don't.
What the hell is
and it's,
that?
like, basically, like you have to be one of the regulars because I don't know what the gatekeeping criteria is.
I know, it's insane.
Do I have to come in and say live long and prosper for you to accept me?
I don't think that would help. Boom. Damn right you should keep wearing a mask,
me
Maddie.
too, Maddie. I like
My
that.
mask ain't going nowheres.
Not getting sick. That's great.
Okay.
Okay, so seriously, today in the store, I'm serving this woman, and she was trying to show me her receipt on her phone, but I needed to scroll down. I was like, "Can I touch your phone?" She's like, "Oh yeah, I don't care. I work in a hospital. I mean, I'm not worried about yours." That was my reaction.
Well, I guess
Your
she's
face-
become fatalistic because she's around so many germs all day.
She's literally like, I'm not paranoid. Like, she's not taking the precautions everybody else is. She's like, I haven't gotten COVID so far, so I guess I'm just lucky.
Okay, I hate this woman that I've never
And I'm
met.
like, I guess this is the way, maybe this is the psychological way she's
Coping.
dealing
Yeah.
with
100% that's
working in a
what's
hospital
happening.
during COVID. But I was like, I am horribly uncomfortable now, having touched your possessions.
Yep.
Like, I
You
really
want
don't
to double
want you to-
sanitize those hands.
Do you feel how raw they are?
Yes, I know.
They got sanitized.
Damn right they did.
Uh,
Yeah, this is, again, the most 90s experience I've played since the 90s.
Yeah, and that's the problem, Marissa, because everybody in Canada hears that America doesn't have to wear masks anymore. Not that anybody ever really did, but there were places where... I know there were places where there were mask mandates, but most of the places...
Generally not so much.
And, like, they're all like, well, we should be able to stop wearing masks. I'm like, no. Like, I literally had one of my regular customers be like, oh, I'm fully vaccinated, and take off her mask. And I'm like, yeah, you're still required to wear your mask and keep it on. Like, you're fully vaccinated, but it doesn't, like, the data's not in on if you can spread the virus.
Yeah, and again, I love how Americans were briefly paranoid about
That's smart,
surveillance,
Wesley.
and then the moment someone gave them away
Yeah.
to defeat all surveillance cameras everywhere and be completely safe from surveillance, they said, but if I'm safe from surveillance, I won't have any freedom, and they refused to do it. Americans, you make no sense. No sense whatsoever.
Agreed.
Boom. Well, that got taken
Enjoying
care of
this
quite
whole
neatly.
not, having gotten sick. Like, not just COVID, sick in general.
Yep, that's why I'm keeping
It's
up the
really
myth of
nice.
masks. Yay. Okay, Solar Bear grant resistance to days and men still are to great melanolist. Okay. Nice. So every time you go to a new area, there's a guy with his multi-part story to tell. See? And it's all very metal nonsense. As one does. Okay, yeah. Maybe I should hide. Turns out, I'm really expecting there to be a dodge button, but there isn't one. And I mean, there weren't a lot of dodge buttons back in the 90s, so whoa! I'm not entirely surprised. Now, what is that trophy
Well,
worth
Maddie, that's not
for?
entirely
500,
true.
wow. What's that?
Most people turn off their lights at night and Americans gave their like good of the world. The dumbasses didn't bother to wear a mask. Like, yeah, Americans didn't really give their lives for the
No, fun fact, if you were an American who went, off to fight in World War II, there was something along the lines of a 93 or 4% chance you were coming back alive. Almost no American soldiers were killed compared to how many went. It's kind of amazing, actually.
And if you want to talk about the worst of the fighting, especially in Germany,
Yeah.
Canada did a lot of that.
We lost more percentage-wise than the Americans
Whoa.
did.
And I mean,
No!
even once America
Side
got
slugs.
involved in the war, we still lost more. Because we were in there real early.
Yeah, you can't blame that pupper, right, Marissa? Like, you're very much in favor of that pupper's actions?
Oh, that's adorable.
Yeah? Like a pupper who just needs the attention after she feels she's been ignored all day? Who cannot relate to that?
But agreed, Maddie. The fact that people can't wear masks to
It's insane.
protect other people and themselves is just baffles me.
Yeah, I mean, but it's... Well, I mean, I was talking about this on Twitter the other day, where it comes down to, nice, the idea that it's like, we used to have the idea that, whether or not you actually did the right thing, there was an expectation that doing the right thing and trying to help people was a positive idea.
Yeah.
Whereas America just had a president who said that everybody's on their own, screw people who need help, they're suckers and losers. A guy who, hates the troops because he thinks only an idiot would sign up to fight for his country. Like, that's who they had as their president. So when that kind of attitude is coming from the top down, you end up with really trash takes from everybody. Yeah.
It's just this weird thing. Like, I was talking about this today.
Oh, wow. This level is not messing around. That is adorable, Marissa. I am very much in favor of your dog now. I'm not saying your dog is my hero, but your dog's also not my hero. Just like just a cuddle monster.
Yeah, I was saying this today about how, like, you and I were in a store a while back, and the guy at the cash had his mask under his nose, and I was like, that's supposed to be over your nose, right? He was like, you have no idea how hard it is to wear these shit to work. You looked at her and you were like, she works 9 hours a day with one arm.
Yep.
Oh, can you turn down that game audio?
Oh, I will.
Yeah, Maddie. Yeah, Canada joined World War, started fighting officially in World War II.
Yep. Because Canada wasn't full of, let's face it, Nazis. There was this thing called the America First movement, which was just Nazis.
Yeah. And we were in some Canadian, the Canadian forces were in some of the dirtiest fighting.
Yeah. Well, fun fact, the interesting thing, no, they got me again. This is not easy. I like it. Oh, God, yeah. No, and Canada did that, too. The treatment of the Japanese after Pearl Harbor, both in Canada and in America, was absolutely disgusting. There is no excuse for what either of our countries did. Was America worse? Yes, of course they were, but Canada cannot hold its head up with any kind of pride for the treatment of the Japanese during World War II. It was all a bunch of racist nonsense.
Yeah. George Takei has a lot to say about that.
Oh, yeah. God, he's...
I don't know if you've seen the musical, but I quite like his musical. It's not bad. They wrote George Takei, wrote.
He co-wrote a musical.
Yeah.
It's based on his life.
Yeah. Based on his experiences in Japanese music.
Yep.
Right, Maddie?
Careful. Again, literally.
That's true.
Although I liked someone's statement where it's like, being in prison isn't a real punishment. People should have harsher punishment for crimes. And then someone pointed out that those same people, when asked to stay in their comfortable house for 2 weeks, all went insane and decided they were going to overthrow the government. The same kind of people who said prison is too cushy. Yep. Yeah. Well, again, I always look at Vietnam, who are just like, hey, everybody stay home in the whole country until this COVID thing is wrapped up. And they wrapped everything up inside 5 weeks, because everyone stayed home for 5 weeks. Every country could have done that. Well, that's what happens when you don't let capitalism run your country. When you just say, we're just going to bring you food for 5 weeks. And they did. They brought everybody food for 5 weeks. How are you supposed to deal with that? Is there a dodge button I don't know about? Like, look at the fields of weaponry they're throwing at me. Like, if the flamethrower, in addition to closing off nests, canceled bullets, boom, I would completely understand how you're supposed to play this game. But I get flooded by these guys, and there's nothing I can do about it. All right, so this has been SturmFront, a lovable trip back to the 90s when games were very deeply silly, ultraviolet, and we're all trying to recreate the experience of looking at a heavy metal album cover in video game form. Obviously, the pinnacle of this attempt was Doom, heavy metal album cover of the game, but this is absolutely a perfect snapshot of that era in video games and game development. I'm not ready to sign off on its politics. We have to check a little harder to see if its comments are meant ironically and as a criticism of this thing, or if these guys really are ridiculous right-wing metalheads. It's often difficult to tell the difference, because right-wing metalheads are so obviously on their face ludicrous that it's hard to parody them. But I'll check and see what these guys have to say. That was kind of awesome, actually.
Yes, Maddie. You got it.
Anyway, for now, I've been the Hidden Object Guru. Thanks for coming on this journey with me. If you had a good time and you'd like to see more, there's buttons for that coming up. Questions, suggestions, related whatnots, go in the comment section below the video. I'll see you back here for more new and upcoming games, but until then, I'm going to say that's right. Au revoir.